Why? I got your number! I got all your numbers!
Oh. What are you playing here, Cesar?
Tribe 2.
Tribes 2?
I am Sophia. I'm here to say hello! Epic Charter School.
How do you like this game?
It's pretty fun. Well, it's not really fun to me. I think it's boring.
Seconds.
One of the games I really enjoyed around the turn of the millennium was Tribes 2. I remember when I bought EverQuest in 1999, I had to buy a new video card for my PC. When Tribes 2 came out in 2001, it wouldn't run on my machine, even with all the graphics setting turned all the way down. So once again, I had to run out to my local electronics store to buy more hardware to run a new game. In the meantime, I let a friend install and use my account until I could buy a new video card. It ended up being about a month until I got paid and I could buy a new hardware. I was living in the barracks in the Marine Corps at the time, and my whole platoon had a tribe together in Tribes 1. All of us ran out and purchased Tribes 2, and all of them were playing it, except me. I did get to shoulder surf on the new version, and eventually I was able to play, and it was awesome. The guy that got everyone into our unit involved in playing Tribes was a good friend of mine. One time, some NCO or another was yelling at him, and rhetorically asked, "Why are you so effed up all the time?" Deadpan, my friend replied, "Because I am an undisciplined monkey." The corporal, in a strained effort to maintain his military bearing, said very well and walked off. The descriptor inspired the name of our tribe, Undisciplined Monkeys. Apparently, a bunch of Marines are unable to spell, and so we spelled it M-O-N-K-I-E-S instead of M-O-N-K-E-Y-S. No one really cared though, because we were too undisciplined to bother with spelling. For whatever reason, I was the leader of the tribe, and this included no respect, authority, or duties, so it suited me fine. I didn't even have to schedule the tribe matches. The only thing I did was make the tag UM. That's -UM-. And this ended up being really cool because just after I made the tag, Sierra changed it so you could not use symbols in the tag. Our tribe was one of the very few tribes with a non-alphanumeric tag. So someone in the tribe found a graphics artist who was willing to make a skin for us. It was patterned after the forest green camis that we wore every day, and it had a red ring of monkeys from the movie poster 12 Monkeys with the letters UM inside in red. Once we had an official skin, someone started scheduling tribe versus tribe league matches. I remember there was like this trail that went through the woods between the barracks and the Almaco building we worked in. I remember running back to the barracks on that trail after work to make it home in time for the league game. Anyways, I had a lot of fond memories playing the game, and 2 phrases were added to my vernacular that I still use today because of this game. White hot plasma injection, which was a phrase the game used to notify everyone that someone died because they were shot by a plasma gun. The other phrase is the chunky salsa effect, which wasn't from the game, but was what my friend used to describe what happens when you simultaneously throw a mine and a spin fuser disc so they both hit the enemy at the same time. I don't remember when it petered out of the barracks, but I do remember briefly resurrecting it in 2003 when I was in college. Of the original members, I got Clayman to play again, but everyone else I recruited from the Ann Arbor server. I remember a guy named Ocean Gopher and Wet Akole were members of the new Undisciplined Monkeys. And someone in that tribe actually made a DVD of League Play and mailed it out to all the members. Now this is obviously well before YouTube. I wish I still had that DVD. The Tribes franchise was pretty innovative and expansive. Previously, first-person shooters tended to be games where you ran around inside of a building killing people. Tribes did have bases that you had to learn the interior of, but it also required an open area you had to traverse between each team's base. The really unique feature this game used was the heavy focus on the Z-axis. Most first-person shooters, all you can do is run forward, backwards, left and right along the XY axis. Some did allow you to jump a short distance. Tribes, however, used a jetpack to turn vertical space into an equally important part of movement. Also included is the use of vehicles. There were ground warfare tanks, aerial dogfights and strikes, and teamwork required 3-man operated bombers. The game had just about everything every other game type had, and did a fairly good job of incorporating everything in a balanced way. It even had a commander interface where it showed a map of the mission area and where everyone on your team is in real time. It also showed blips of enemies if they were in range of a radar. The commander could assign tasks to his teammates from this screen and put objectives on their HUDs. Basically, no matter what your playstyle was, you could find something to do that you enjoyed in Tribes 2. The game was also massive. Each map was on an entire planet. There was a designated mission area, but that didn't mean you had to stay within that boundary. You could get in a ship and fly forever in any direction, or spend the entire match walking the terrain. The game allowed for a max of 128 players on the server at a time. 64 versus 64 combat. That is insane. I think even modern day games have a limit of around 32. It depends on the game engine, of course, but I've never heard of another game that allowed so many players on the game at a time. The soundtrack to the game was awesome. It was sort of a fusion between heavy metal and techno. It featured a lot of distortion guitar that I really liked. Each world sort of had a theme to it. It was like if it was a desert world or a tropical world, and depending on the type of map, there was a musical theme that sampled sounds you might hear on such a planet into the music. The soundtrack was available for purchase, and it featured a couple of songs that were not released into the game. I was a bass monkey. I would schlep across the map with a portable inventory station, then drop it in the hidden recesses of the enemy base. I would then use a sensor jammer pack and run around the enemy base, breaking things and killing people. I remember I had a roommate in college just after I got out of the Marines who played Team Fortress all night long. I remember waking up to the sound of grenades and gunfire at 2 a.m. and it induced a PTSD panic. The Tribes 2 wasn't realistic like this. The sounds were futuristic, sci-fi-ish hums, whirs, and dings. The game didn't feature blood or gore, and basically all the combatants looked like robots instead of people. My son asked me the other day if he could play a first-person shooter. Thinking of this and how I also understand his desire to play a game, I fired up a copy of this game from Tribes Next, which is an independent group of gamers who resurrected the servers after Sierra pulled the plugs on the Tribes 2 master server a while ago. I asked him for his opinion of the game. Much to my chagrin, all through dinner afterwards, he was bragging about 120-meter mid-air disc that he got.
You like what?
The Dark Knight.
So, what do you like about this game?
It's a first-person shooter that I can actually play.
Oh. How hard is it?
It's super hard.
What do you think's harder, this or Halo?
Definitely this.
Why is that?
Because I'm playing with real people, and they're more advanced and better. And it's the stuff that you're on with, it's complicated.
Are you talking about the Z-axis? Like most first-person shooters are only on X and Y. There's no Z-axis. There's no.
It's only there's no local.
There's no jetpack, right?
Yeah. In Halo there is a jetpack, but it's not as.
It's not a fundamental piece of the game like this.
No, jetpack is really important in this.
What's your favorite gun in this game?
Spin Phaser. It's the, in my opinion, it's the easiest and.
It's the easiest.
It's the easiest weapon to learn with, and it's pretty strong.
Say, sir.
Yeah.
If you were in the year 2000, do you think this would be a pretty advanced game?
Yeah. This would be